Hello, it's Jem Cunningham here, and today I want to talk to you about how to set some really clear boundaries. Now, to be perfectly honest with you, this is not a topic that I have felt comfortable talking about in the past because I've actually not been very good at setting my own boundaries. However, recently I've come across a tool which I wanted to shout from the rooftops, and I can't wait to share with you today because it's really helped me clearly define what my boundaries are and then be able to articulate them to others. So today in the Inkling TV episode, I want to share two things with you. The first is why boundaries are actually so critical and important. And then secondly, I want to share this tool. So let's talk about the why boundary setting is so important. There are many reasons as to why, but I've distilled it down into three today for you. The first is that what we know about setting boundaries is probably the single most important thing you can do in order to boost your productivity. We know that workplaces that honour and set really clear boundaries and have those clearly defined workplace boundaries are much more efficient, and they also drive a culture of accountability. We also know that I think probably one of the biggest contributors to us not setting boundaries is because we live in this world where we are constantly plugged. And when we have access to technology 24/7, we find that we are taking work home with us, and we are creating this environment where we're constantly switched on, which can also contribute to overload and overwhelm and in particular workplace stress. Now, what we do know about workplace stress is it is the number one contributor to anxiety in adults. Now, by setting clear boundaries, what this can potentially do for you is alleviate some of those workplace stresses and potential anxieties, but it will also create happier and healthier workplaces as well. Finally, and the most important thing to remember around why setting boundaries are so important is because boundaries keep you out of resentment. And this one's really resonated with me because I was finding myself moving into resentment through a number of times last year, and I realized it's because I hadn't set any clear boundaries in place. If you are that go-to person, if you are constantly prioritizing other people's needs above your own, what you'll find is you'll very quickly move into resentment because your own needs aren't being met. So let's talk about this tool now, and it's a three-phased approach on how to set really clear boundaries. The first is that you need to get really clear on what you value, what's important to you. Now, if you don't know what you value and what's most important to you, then you probably think about those times where you are quite resentful, and sitting behind that is probably the thing that you most value, and there's something that's getting in the way of you being able to honour that. So for me, what I most value is rest and rejuvenation. For you, it might be creative flow, or it might be strategic thinking space, or it could be forming deep connections through quality time, or it could be deep focus. Once you're clear on what you value, and you can list multiple things here in the column, you then need to move into and what I need is. So what I value is rest and rejuvenation. And what I need is off-hours activity that bring me peace and joy. Now, you can get really specific here. So for me, it's daily meditation. It might be yoga 3 times a week. It might be walking in nature twice a week. It might be 8 hours sleep. Whatever it is, get specific. If we're using the creative flow or deep focus example, then what you value is creative flow, and what you need is minimal calls or meetings during your workday. Or it could be 3 hours of uninterrupted time. The final piece is to understand how you're going to honour this. So it's what I value and what I need, and the last statement is, and will honour this by. So for me, what I value is rest and rejuvenation, and what I need is off-hours activities that bring me joy and peace, such as meditation, yoga, walking, sleep. And I will honour this by no work or work-related travel on weekends, or no devices before my meditation or while I'm out walking in nature. Using the creative flow example, what I value is creative flow, and what I need is minimal calls and meetings or 3 hours of uninterrupted time per week, and I will honour this by. only accepting meetings that are crucial for me to be there, or turning off my email notifications when I'm going into deep focus, or not taking calls between 12 and 2 p.m. This tool works. It is absolutely brilliant. What I value is, and so what I need is, and I will honor this by. I can't tell you how amazing this has been in terms of me being able to set those really clear boundaries, coming back to my why. Why do I need those boundaries? What do I really value in my life? The final piece of the puzzle is to communicate those boundaries to others. People will constantly overstep your boundaries if they don't know what they are. They are not mind readers. So you need to share those boundaries with others so that you can effectively honor them yourself and others can honor them as well. So give them really clear expectations around what they are. We would love to hear from you in terms of what you have done, what's worked really well for you in setting boundaries for yourself. So please comment on this post or send us an email. We would love to hear from you. We'd also love to hear how you go on setting boundaries for yourself and the successes that you have. Until next time, we look forward to seeing you soon. Bye.